I'm at Chang International Circuit for the second round of Thailand Super Series, but I don't want to talk about the second round at all. I don't want to talk about Chang International Circuit because the big thing now is TSS are off to Singapore to support the Singapore Grand Prix. So I want to talk to some of the stakeholders, some of the drivers, get a feel for what's going on, because this is a huge step for TSS and a huge step for Thai motorsport to go and support a Formula One race. It almost happened a couple of years ago when the Vietnam Grand Prix was proposed, and in the planning stage TSS were going to go as a support race to Vietnam. Then COVID came along, it killed off Vietnam, and unfortunately Vietnam was killed dead for other reasons. But now TSS is off to Singapore to support the Grand Prix. So I'm going to talk to a few people involved, find out the lowdown. But first of all, Kanya, you've been to Singapore F1 before. You're the first person I'm going to talk to. Is it cool? Is it a good atmosphere?
It was probably one of the best F1 experience I have been in my life.
So, in short, the TSS teams and drivers, they're going to enjoy it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's get on. We're making a preview for Thailand Super Series going to Singapore. There's only one place I can start. That's with Kun Sontia, the owner of Thailand Super Series, the man who's put this together, taking Thai motorsport to the next level.
ครับในฐานะนายกราษฎรยานยนต์สมาคมแห่งประเทศไทยในพระบรมราชูปถัมภ์หรือรยสท.นะครับในฐานะที่เป็นองค์กรที่กำกับดูแลส่งเสริมและสนับสนุนการกีฬามอเตอร์สปอร์ตนะครับของประเทศไทยนะครับเรารู้สึกยินดีเป็นอย่างยิ่งนะครับว่าในปีนี้เนี่ยเราเองเนี่ยมีโอกาสที่จะนำนักแข่งของไทยรายการแข่งขันของไทยก็คือ Thailand Super Series นะครับที่เราใช้ชื่อในการแข่งขันที่สิงคโปร์กรังด์ปรีในครั้งนี้ว่า TSS The Super Series นะครับในการที่จะนำรถแข่งทั้งหมด27คันนะครับในรุ่น GT3 GTM และ GT4 นะครับไปเป็นซัพพอร์ตเรสของการแข่งขันฟอร์มูล่าวันที่สิงคโปร์ซึ่งถือได้ว่าเป็นอีกหนึ่งขั้นนะครับในการพัฒนามอเตอร์สปอร์ตของเมืองไทยหรืออาจจะบอกได้เลยว่าเป็นบิ๊กสเต็ปนะครับสำหรับมอเตอร์สปอร์ตเมืองไทยในการที่จะนำนักแข่งทีมแข่งที่มีศักยภาพได้ไปแสดงให้กับคนทั้งโลกนะครับได้เห็นว่ามอเตอร์สปอร์ตเมืองไทยในปัจจุบันนี้นะครับทั้งผู้จัดองค์กรที่กำกับดูแลนักแข่งทีมแข่งแล้วก็องค์กรทั้งหมดของเราเนี่ยเรามีความพร้อมในการที่จะออกไปทำการแข่งขันเพื่อประกาศสู่สายตาของวงการมอเตอร์สปอร์ตโลกนะครับให้ได้เห็นถึง Thailand Super Series หรือว่า The TSS The Super Series ในการไปทำการแข่งขันเป็น Support Race ของ Formula One ในครั้งนี้นะครับเป็นการแข่งขันที่แสดงให้เห็นถึงก้าวย่างที่ยิ่งใหญ่หรือ Big Step ของวงการมอเตอร์สปอร์ตของไทย
The place to start when we're talking about Singapore is with Be Quick Absolute, because they are dominating the entry with nearly double figures worth of cars. So here I've got Ingo, one half. Here we've got Henk, the other half. So keep this short. Ingo, I'll start with you. You've got, I believe, 9 cars in total that you're supporting at the race. Can you just go through what cars you're running and what drivers that you've got confirmed so far?
Well, obviously Audi is the main stake, as you can imagine, because that's what we are doing here in TSS anyway. But we will add more, so we will add one more Audi to the stable, one more GT3. We will add one more GT4 Audi to the stable, all with long-term friends also from Henk and from us. And then, of course, we also run some Porsches, because we have a quite big history with the Singapore Grand Prix, having been there since 2008, basically with the Carrera Cup. So we are happy to have Yui joining us, Yui Tan in a GT3R. So will be our first Porsche GT3R, which we run in the championship, or in a race, basically. And then also Francis, who is also a long-time friend of us, will come in a cup car. So we are...
Okay. Henk, Be Quick, I believe, sort of sponsoring or supporting the trip to Singapore and your first time racing there. How's it going? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I think there's two ways. I mean, one is as a team and as Thailand Super Series to do an event like that is awesome, I think. But even, I mean, also as a driver, I mean, it's like, I think it's a box everybody would like to tick, and I think also that's why there's a huge interest. And so, I mean, it's good on all for everything. It's good for Thailand Super Series. I mean, it's good for Be Quick. It's good for us. I mean, we're bringing the cars out, and it's going to be a great event. And I think it's good for Thai motorsport in the end, because what we need and what we see is, I mean, where else can you race? Like you can race in Thailand Super Series. And I think if we drop the Thailand bit a little bit and we make it a Super Series as what they're doing in Singapore, we get more people, we get more cars, we get better racing, and it's just like a fresh beginning. It's good. I'm looking forward to it.
Right, Ingo, Absolute, I guess you've been supporting and preparing cars in Singapore since day one it started. I mean, just tell us a little bit what it's like, what's the atmosphere, the challenges.
I mean, honestly, the place is amazing. There is nothing coming close to. I mean, yes, okay, you have Monaco, which is like the street race worldwide, but Singapore, the atmosphere is just amazing. And I'm really happy that everything opened up, so Singapore is open. And I expect the atmosphere to be fantastic, because there's a lot of people flying in just for this event. The crowds are amazing. It's in the night. It's really nice. I mean, obviously, being a support race in Formula One, you have a bit more limited space and resources for the team, which makes it a bit challenging. But as you mentioned, we are quite aware of that as we worked in this environment with Porsche Carrera Cup for years and years and years. So it's just a nice event, and I think all the customers will really enjoy it. The driver will enjoy it. The people which are coming will enjoy it. And I'm just happy that we managed to get the GT3s and GT4s out in front of the crowd of Formula One, because I think we will make exciting racing also.
The biggest team in Thai motorsport, and really the one with the biggest footprint and for the longest, is Toyota Motorsport Thailand. Konato, the team owner, is one of the really big stakeholders in the sport, and so it's absolutely clear cut that they're going to join TSS in Singapore. Konato, thank you for joining me. I just want to ask you quickly what cars you're taking and what drivers will be driving.
For TSS in Singapore, for Toyota Gazoo Racing Team Thailand will take 3 cars, 2 GT3 and 1 GT4 to join the race in Singapore.
And what drivers have you confirmed, and what drivers are driving?
For GT3, car number 12 is Mr. Pitti, and car number 19 in GT3 is Mr. Natapong, and GT4 it's the Toyota Super GT4 is me.
Just the last thing, this is the first time you've driven in Singapore.
This is the first time for our team, for everyone in my team to have a chance to drive in Singapore. No one have experience over there.
So you're looking forward to this?
Yes, because everybody want to get the experience over there.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck for the weekend. Thailand Super Series is always about diversity. The entry has such a different mix of cars. And one person, a larger-than-life character who's always brought diversity to TSS is Craig Corliss. He's been bringing Australian V8 supercars, then he's bringing the TA2 cars over from America for a one-make series a couple of years ago. And in fact, if we go back years and years ago, you even had that New Zealand versus supercar challenge appear on circuit a long time ago, which was a one-off and pretty crazy. Now Craig is going to take the Corliss Race Engineering Mustangs to Singapore, race them there. It's going to be an epic sound and an epic visual. So Craig, I just want to, first of all, I want to ask you, how many cars you're taking, who's driving?
Sorry, Carp. We're taking the two Ford Mustangs, and Cal Kearns from Ford, currently in USA, will be driving one car, and I'll be driving the second car. And we're very excited. It's just it's amazing that TSS could get secure the support class, and everybody's looking forward to it.
Right. So what I said before, you're always making a bit of history, bringing V8s here, bringing the TA2s. Now you're going to make a bit of history taking V8s onto the streets of Singapore, onto the street circuit. So it's kind of going to be a cool, exciting experience.
Yeah, we're pretty privileged to be given the opportunity. As Ed said, I brought plenty of V8s over here to Thailand to race, and we've had the challenges over here with the local boys. And so, as Ed said again, we've always brought something new to the arena in Thai motorsport. And this time, being given the opportunity is really great, and we're looking forward to it. Probably, I don't know how many V8s have been around Singapore, the F1 circuit, but we'll certainly be there giving it our best shot. That's for sure.
You find everyone in the TSS paddock, and I found two-time Le Mans winner Earl Bamber, who's driving for Toyota Motorsport this year. Earl, you've got a lot of history with Singapore, so first of all I just want to ask you your career there, because I know you've won there in PCCA. How many years you've been there, what you've driven, kind of what results?
Yeah, I've been there twice, both in 2013 and 2014. I mean, it's a fantastic track to go to. I think it's a highlight of anyone's calendar to go race under the lights of Singapore. Got fond memories there because both times I've been there or visited. And I think it's just fantastic for Thailand Super Series. Obviously, from where they've started to now be a premier category at arguably Asia's biggest race and one of the biggest races in the world is a real credit, and I think really something exciting for the championship.
Well, a lot of the drivers here in Thailand Super Series, they've not driven on a circuit like Singapore. Any tips what the circuit's like? Are they going to be able to adapt to it?
I think if they can drive in Bang Seng, they'll be able to handle Singapore quite easily. I mean, I think they've got one of the hardest street tracks in the entire world in Bang Seng, and yeah, going down to Singapore is going to be something quite different. It's a lot smoother. It's much like Buriram here, obviously just with the walls a little bit closer. So I think they'll adapt really well. But like I said, it's going to be really neat to see everyone go there. It's going to be a big showcase for everyone as well. So we're going to have a car there as well, so excited for that event.
Okay, that brings me to the last thing. You're not driving this year, but Earl Bamber Motorsport's entering a car. Can you just tell us about that? Who's driving, what car it is?
Yeah, we're going to enter Porsche GT3R with Adrian De Silva, who was actually with me both times I won and has been a big supporter of my career. So he wants to go out and drive, so we're bringing the car in. It's great. We're hoping to have a car for the last two races back here as well. So I think it's a really great championship, like I said, and we've enjoyed our time, obviously last year with Pity and now joining Singapore in the last couple of races.
This AMG GT GT3 is going to be very familiar to you if you follow Thailand Super Series. Last year it raced in the series. It was super fast. It was an outright winner, although the drivers were only in AM. It was that quick, it was that successful. This year it's not racing in Thailand Super Series, but the reason it's up in the garage at the Buriram round of Thailand Super Series, where I'm making this preview, is it's been out testing, ready to go to Singapore to join the support race there. So YK Motorsport, they brought it out this week over the Thursday, Friday testing times. Get it ready to race in Singapore next month.
สวัสดีค่ะชื่อแคนนะคะณัฐนิต ลีวัฒนาวรากุลค่ะวันนี้นะคะก็ขอเป็นตัวแทนของทีม YK Motorsport Billionaire Boy by Sanogo แล้วก็สิงห์นะคะคืออยากจะบอกว่าต่อไปนะคะสนามต่อไปก็คือเราจะนำคัน AMG คันนี้นะคะไปลงแข่งในรายการสิงคโปร์กลางปีค่ะทุกคนเป็นครั้งแรกเลยนะคะที่คันนี้จะได้ออกไปเหยียบนอกประเทศไทยนะคะแล้วก็คนขับนะคะก็จะเป็นพี่แบงค์กันตศักดิ์กุลศิริค่ะก็บอกเลยว่าฝีมือนะคะอันดับต้นๆของประเทศไทยเลยก็ยังไงฝากตามเชียร์กันด้วยนะคะคันนี้ AMG นะคะทุกคน
I'm in Be Quick Mission Control and I'm with Be Quick's long-time race engineer Duarte. Now Duarte's the perfect person to talk about Singapore because he's been there before multiple times, engineered cars there. So first of all, Duarte, thank you for your time, but I want to ask you just a little bit about your history and your background, what you've done basically in Singapore before.
Right, well, it's a pleasure to be here talking with you. Thank you very much for that opportunity. Yes, I've been in Singapore. I believe it was one of the very first editions. And at the time, we started with Formula BMW. And back in the day, well, now F1 stars were starting their careers. That's how long ago It was. And then a few years later, well, I kept going back, and after that was on PCCA, Carrera Cup Asia. And the last edition would have been 7 years ago, in 2015. So yeah, it's definitely in a very interesting place to be, to work. It's an exciting city, and the opportunity to race at night or at dawn is also very interesting for us.
Well, the next thing is that you're engineering Heng this year. So how are you going to prepare once you get there?
Well, Singapore is a special challenge as well because we are not allowed to have video, we're not allowed to have radio communications, and of course we'll talk about a street track. I've done Macau countless times, I've done Bang Sen since I've been with Big Quick over 10 years now. So the challenges are mainly, of course, the street track. Every session the grip is going to be improving. So we only have half an hour session, so we have to maximize that time available. If you look at the differences between Singapore, Macau and Bang Sen, well, Macau and Bang Sen are very similar. But Singapore is an F1 event, so the track is very wide. So from that sense, probably we will not see as many red flags. But nevertheless, the plan is always to maximize the track time for the drivers. In terms of the circuit itself, from my experience, it's quite slow. The corners are slow and sharp, so it's all about how to get the GT3 car on a low grip circuit to be very nimble, whilst you have some high-speed corners, and whilst trying to keep that stability. That is going to be the key. But for our drivers, it's all about track time. To stay out as long as we can, and then after the session we just sit down and look at the data like we usually do and try to improve session after session. You know, if you notice this year in Bang Sen, all the fastest lap times were at race 2, right at the end, with the track rubbering up, etc. So that is our plan for Singapore.
Right, well, you've just answered every question I was going to ask you, so thank you for your time. Thanks very much. Well, we're getting pretty long way through this preview now. I've been around the paddock and I have just bumped into the perfect person to tell us about Singapore. Hong here, he's the owner of Nitro, big car modified publication in Singapore. He knows Singapore Grand Prix like the back of his hand. But first of all, I've not seen you in a couple of years. Good to see you again, man. Really good to see you.
No, that is really great to see you. It's really great to be back in the atmosphere in motorsports right here in Buriram, Thailand, which is probably one of the best tracks and circuits in all of Southeast Asia.
Right, well, I know you've been to Buriram before, but I don't believe you've been to Thailand Super Series. What's your impression? What are you kind of getting from this event so far?
Well, I think you're right to say that it is my first time here for TSS, and the atmosphere is great. I think the teams that are involved, the race teams that are involved, the partners that are involved are all very committed to creating a good show, a good event. And that is quite rare in a lot of motorsports events around the world, especially in this part of the world. So I think it's really a great job for the organizers and also all the partners that are involved. And the atmosphere is really, really great.
Well, that's certainly good to hear. I should also just add in here that I've photographed for this guy before and written for this guy before. Great publication. Right, what I really want to get to now is just Singapore. We've talked to the drivers, engineers, team owners, but what's the atmosphere like? What's it like that you go to Singapore in race week?
So race week in Singapore is not just the week itself. In fact, it stretches a little bit before that. The week or week and a half before Formula One starts in Singapore, the festivities starts happening. You have sim racing, you have a lot of pop-up activities that pop up all around Singapore, not just around the Marina Bay circuit, but also in Orchard Road downtown. And you can feel it the moment you arrive. If you're coming into Singapore by plane, or if you're driving in from Malaysia or taking a boat, the moment you step into Singapore, you know that it is Formula One week, it is Formula One racing, and the atmosphere is just absolutely astounding. It is a party festival experience for anyone who's never been to Singapore before. And in fact, anyone that has been to Singapore Formula One could probably attest to what I'm just saying, and that's why they come back.
Right, that's what we want to hear. It's going to be more than just the race cars on the track. Thank you very much. Great to see you again, and have a great weekend. And hopefully we're going to see a lot more of you in TSS in the future.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, hope to see you guys soon.
I'm with Vincente from Be Quick Racing. He had his first street race in Bang Sen a few months ago. We'll get to that in a minute. But now, just 3 months later than that, he's off for his second street race in Singapore. So I just want to ask you, Vincente, are you looking forward to it? Are you well prepared for it?
Oh yes, very excited to join the support F1 race in Singapore in the following month. And yes, very excited because it will be also time to watch the Formula One race the same weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Okay, you had your first street race in Bang Sen, so a completely different experience. Obviously, Bang Sen is not quite like Singapore, but can you just say what it was like jumping on a street circuit and if you enjoyed that?
Well, in the beginning, it was very challenging, Bang Sen. You know, I've never raced in a street circuit with all blind corners, walls all over the place. You know, make one mistake, you're out of the race. So I was taking it cautiously, and I think Singapore will be the same situation, but much wider. But of course, I'll take it cautiously. Let's see during the first practice. Yeah.
This brand new McLaren GT4 is having its first race in Thailand Super Series this weekend in Buriram. Straight into the series, full function team, McLaren GT4, a brand new, pretty exciting package coming to TSS. But for this video, it's more exciting because next off with this car, it'll be going to Singapore. So I've come down the garage to take a look at it, and I found the team manager. Now the team manager and I, we used to work together at Impact Speed Park. Haven't seen him for a long time. Good to see you again. Can you just tell me a little bit about the team, the driver, this car, please?
So now we are brand new team. The mechanic is new, the engineer is new, but me is not new. And this car is another car. We crashed in Bang Sen street circuit before, and we cannot fix it in a time. So we buy the new car and making some setting, and we try it in Buriram now.
So Singapore, the driver and the team, you must be pretty excited to go there.
Yeah, we are very exciting to race in Singapore Grand Prix because we will see the F1 and many race cars there.
I've got more of a Singapore connection here. I've got one driver who's raced in Singapore, been on the podium, one driver who's going to Singapore with TSS. Greg Bennett, you'll have seen his car this week. It absolutely stands out. But I don't really want to talk about this weekend, just want to get on to Singapore. New for you, new street circuit, you're looking forward to going?
Oh yeah, it's a bucket list item, so I'm looking forward to going. It's quite a complex track, and it's a hard track to really study. You know, you can't go there and drive around much beforehand. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Well, you've had a pretty good result with the Cayman on your first time in it. Not much track time in the car before. Do you think you can get a good result with the car in Singapore?
Well, a few of the drivers have been there before, but most of us are new, and I think the car performed pretty well this weekend. So in Buriram, so I think it shows that it can stand up to the competition. I think it comes down more to how fast I can learn the track than the car. The car's up to it.
Right. Maxime, you've been there once, you've been on the podium, that's a pretty good record, although you told me before it was like 6 years ago. Just tell me a little bit what Singapore's like, what it's like to drive.
It's very enjoyable. To be honest, it's one of my favorite racetrack because it's a street circuit, but to be fair, it's very complete. A lot of long straight line, high speed corners, very low speed corner, some tricky parts as well, but it's very enjoyable. And yeah, it was quite good for me, so I have a good memory of it. But of course, the F1 atmosphere makes the event very enjoyable. It's a proper experience, so it's very nice that the TSS can go there this year.
Now you're coaching Greg this weekend, and presumably you'll be giving a few tips for Singapore, although you told me you're not going to be there. What are you going to be telling Greg to do, how to approach it?
Well, for sure, like every street circuit, there is a track evolution day after day and more grip. And yeah, there is still few, even though I'm not going to be there, I can give him a few of the tips in some corners that are going to be quite similar because I raced there in GT as well. So yeah, we're going to work and do our best.
Right. I'm in a VIP room now with 2 people. You can see a lot of space around us. And that's got to be because I'm in Raphael's VIP room. Now, it feels like everyone I talk to around the paddock this weekend, there's so many Singapore connections already. And there's probably no bigger Singapore connection than with Raphael, who I also add, you will also know because I've done a lot of videos on his Daytona project. Anyway, TechPro, Singapore was the first circuit in the world to be fully TechPro, no tyres. So there's a landmark there already connecting us up. And also the amount of pieces of TechPro at a circuit, it's kind of blown me away. Bang Seng has maybe about 500 pieces of TechPro, but some of the circuits like Singapore, Abu Dhabi, Miami, they're thousands of pieces. I never really visually connected that or connected that in my head, so I'm kind of quite blown away by how many pieces of TechPro are actually used in a circuit. So I want to ask first of all, with Singapore, first track in the world to be fully TechPro. Now you're telling me a little bit about how it came about. Can you just talk me through that a little bit first?
Yes, Singapore is the first track full equipped with TechPro, no use another protection. And if I tell you the history of TechPro, because the promoter of Singapore want to try the light, because you know is one race in the night. And the company for the light is Italian company, and we come to the Paul Ricard in France for test the light, and the owner of Paul Ricard asked me, okay, Rafa, we have a TechPro in our track, and we want you protect the pool of the light with your TechPro. And the promoter of Singapore is in place, and he don't know TechPro, but his first time look TechPro, and okay, the look is nice, but don't know his efficiency, no working. And we make the test all the night, and in the morning the owner asked, Rafa, make the barrier in place immediately because tomorrow in 3 hours we have a practice and only a small team, and we put all the barrier in place, and in the morning we go take the breakfast with the owner, but the promoter of Singapore is in the breakfast with the owner of Paul Ricard, and he very surprised. We put install and load the barrier very quickly, and this is very important for city race like Bang Seng or Monaco. And he asked, okay, this is a good system. We want this system for Singapore. And after we go Singapore and we sign the contract. First track in the world, 100 equipped by TechPro.
So I just want to get onto the scale. How many barriers do you have in Singapore?
Singapore is a 2,500 barrier full, and the important is the installation in Singapore is only 20 days. And we install this in 20 days, but for example in Miami is more 3,000 barrier, and we install in 20 days same. It's very quick system for installation and more quick for upload the barrier outside for storage, for everything. But the permanent track like Abu Dhabi is more 5,000 barrier, but this the installation is more than 1 month. And after Abu Dhabi have the barrier is 2010, the installation, and the barrier is perfect now.
Right. The other thing when we were chatting before, you told me about mosquitoes, so can you just explain that please?
This is very important for Asia because in Singapore, the process before thinking pull tires, no, same in Bang Seng or Buriram or before, but the problem with the tires is every time you have one like a ball and you have water and you have many mosquitoes and maybe snake go inside, and it's very no good for the public, no. And this is one very important decision from Singapore for choice TechPro because it's full and no water inside, and it's very perfect for the animals and mosquito more.
Right. Well, the last thing I just want to ask you is the atmosphere in Singapore. TSS is going there for the first time. What's the whole like race weekend atmosphere like? And are these guys, you know them all, are they going to enjoy it?
This is I have the chance. I drive 2 times in Singapore, and it's a fabulous race because you have 2 fantastic races: Monaco Grand Prix and Singapore Grand Prix. And Monaco is more dangerous. It's little like Macau. Singapore is safe, very safe track because space, large boulevard, and but the pleasure in the night is so fantastic. And I think all the drivers go Singapore for first time is so happy.
Just walking around the paddock, we've rocked into Tanot on his scooter. Now Tanot, you are going to Singapore, I believe, and I believe you've raced there before as well. So just give me some background. What sort of results have you had for it? Are you looking forward to going again with TSS?
So yeah, I've been there before. I finished the best was P3 in PCCA. The track was awesome, I would say. Like they say it's like a night race, but it's not really a night race because it's like in the middle of the city. Also, the atmosphere is really, really nice. I think everyone go there to look at Formula One, you know. So, but like as a support race, you see loads of people walking around. The grandstand is like full, so and it's like a new experience, you know, for a lot of people, I think.
I'm talking about a street circuit in Singapore, but I'm actually at a street circuit in Thailand, in Bang Sen. You can't miss where I am, although having said that, there's just a car on a plinth behind me. But anyway, I'm in Bang Sen on the beachfront. The beach is on the other side of me. And I need to ask Simon about Singapore. He's going to help pad out my preview because he's one of the original designers of the street track. Simon, just tell me a little bit about what your role was in Singapore, what the track's like, just what comes into your head about Singapore, really.
So the first thing that comes into my head is diamond quality. I mean, it's a star in the night of Formula One. It's a really high quality event. I was lucky enough to be part of the design team in Singapore back in 2007, 2008. And worked there for 6 years after that, to be honest. But I mean, it's everything that you expect from a Formula One circuit. It's high quality, high safety. I mean, first night race, and you know the Singapore Grand Prix. It's an event. It's not just a race. It's an event. So everything about it is very. I don't want to say Hollywood in a bad way, but it attracts the biggest stars in the world. Formula One's the premium category, and I mean, it's just amazing that TSS is going to be a support race there. It just shows how people regard the Thailand Super Series, you know, internationally. It's a real notch on the belt, you know. And I can't wait to see these guys have that experience in Singapore.
Okay, so you've almost answered my second question. My second question is TSS, the supercar GT3 teams, they're going to enjoy it?
Oh my goodness, I mean, I was also on the team that planned, and we got so close to hosting a race in Hanoi where TSS were going to have their first experience on a Formula One track at a Formula One event. Of course, unfortunately, COVID interrupted that. But then to have this opportunity in Singapore, they're absolutely going to enjoy it. I mean, it's great from start to finish. Excuse the pun.
Well, Bang Sen, street circuit designer on the original design team in Singapore. Always say it's a small world in motorsport. So Simon has once again been my go-to. My eyes are full of sand. I just got blown full of sand. Simon is always my go-to in terms of videos. Thank you again. We're looking forward to it. Thanks, Simon.
The boys from Chiang Mai all